All right, folks. We are live again here in Lit Literature. It's us, the Shoutouts. Cheers, everybody. It's been a little bit of a while.
Cheers.
We are going to get started discussing part 2 of the Oathbringer. Excuse me, not Breaker. Oathbringer, at least right now. Again, it's us, the Shoutouts, your host, JP the Demon. From Arizona, we have, or maybe he's in Arizona. I don't know where he is.
He's in the Shattered Plains.
I am both. I'm in the Shattered Plains of Arizona right now.
Oh, son of a gun. Who would have thought? That is the captain right there. Across the table, we've got
The Cherry, how's it going?
all right,
Got Hitman here.
good old Hitman.
Brett, the director.
Woohoo.
Aim the Dream.
All right.
Dream.
And that's us. And I don't know. Let's just get right into it.
Yes.
That's
what I said.
Yeah, let's just get right into it. First thing we got to talk about real quick, interludes. So interlude, really there's only one thing that I want to touch on, and I think you guys...
Before we get to that, I want to interlude your interludes.
Okay. Interlude my interlude.
I'm just kidding.
Hey, who would have thought it? All right.
Can we show that on the TV?
I don't think so.
I don't know. All right. So interlude. The main thing that we have is we've got to talk Eshonai's sister.
Yes.
Venli.
Yeah. And I think what happens is her little odium spren persuades her to go find Eshonai's body. She's obviously under the impression that Eshonai is still alive. We find out that's not the case.
Yeah,
It is not
the Spren just wanted the freaking armor.
And
the
sword.
blade.
And
Yeah.
I think already this hasn't triggered in Venli's head, but something is really fishy with these gods and Spren from Odium. They sure don't seem to give a shit about them. But
And especially since their culture is so heavy on not touching the dead, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, you need to strip the body, like take everything off of it. That's like
Get
a
that
very
armor.
cultural, like no.
Yeah.
And it's coming from their
Taboo.
gods. Yes.
The main thing is they strip her for the plate and the blade. But we do get something. There's like a little orange glowing spren floating around.
Yeah, they
the ground.
said it was a white fire-like spren with a streak like a comet behind it.
Nice. So I think maybe that, I mean, we don't know yet, but could have something to do with the souls of the Parshendi.
Have we seen that spren before, or is this a new spren?
I think it's new.
Yeah, it is new.
Yeah.
I feel
think it's
like
new.
this might, on an off chance, it could be like her becoming an elder of one of the elder people, and then she can be fused into someone else later.
And that's something we might have to discuss a little later, theory-wise.
Oh yeah, I think that'd be pretty awesome, and especially being able to tie her back into the story because it seems like such a sad way to
Wasted
lose her
character.
because it's like she
Yeah.
had so much like kind of angst
Potential.
inside of her and fighting she knew something was wrong and she was really fighting against it, and then to be able to come back and hopefully later make an impact in the story would be awesome.
Yeah.
Do we want to take a Brett bet on whether or not Eshonai is still alive?
Oh.
Well, I think her spirit,
we know
or that
her-
Spren, I think
Well,
is
it'd probably
definitely
be
her spirit.
a Brett bet on if she comes back.
Yeah.
But I don't know if anyone would vote against that. Well, I wouldn't. But
We could do a team. I'm thinking that she will come back.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so
me
as
too.
well.
Okay,
too.
cool.
So
We're all in agreement.
Team bet. Team bet.
So we do a
Cheers.
team bet. We all
Team bet.
do a shot and push-ups.
If she doesn't come back in some form, cheers, computer. Cheers, computer captain.
I feel like Venli is also kind of conflicted now too, though.
I think that losing Eshonai probably kind of reawoke the internal Venli.
Which is so funny because when she's in her thoughts, she's like, "Oh, I don't have anyone holding me back now that Eshonai's gone." But at the same time, she's kind of like, "Oh, Eshonai's gone." Like, I don't know. Like,
You can
she's
see how
lost her
conflicted
identity.
they are a little bit. Yeah, when they're starting to turn to the higher forms.
And it's also interesting that they have this storm form, but it's not the same as the being fused.
Not the
Right.
infused,
So-
yeah.
So what is this storm? And the Ever Storm is like the first time that's ever come. So
Well-
I'm wondering how they're gonna bridge that. Is storm form never a form that's been used before?
No, I think it is. They call it like a high form. It's a form. They have different
powerful-
power forms. They use different resonances
It's
to
like
communicate.
fused with a lesser Voidbringers
Yeah,
Spren. Like there's like
the Fuse they're
like-
actually
like-
different people.
like
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I was
They're
thinking.
like-
But like
it doesn't
there's like
really seem like
lesser
a form.
beings, and they get That's how the storm
Yeah.
form comes.
They almost
about.
get like enslaved
Yeah, exactly.
again.
Yeah. So, but we get some more tidbits on that in the second set of interludes.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that a little later.
Well, really
Oh my
quick,
gosh.
one thing that I thought was interesting about this interlude is that even though we've kind of had hints of it, it's the first time that I can remember, although I might be wrong, it's the first time that I can remember where I was like greatly questioning Spren now. It's like, oh, they have assholes and good people just like we do, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, you find
know?
out the Spren were warring before and stuff
And
like that. You're
it
kinda
also
like,
kind
oh.
of made me like seeing how that Spren behaved kind of made me call into or think about the idea of like maybe the Spren that we think are so perfect also could be flawed in ways that we don't quite see yet.
Yeah.
Like maybe they don't actually always do the right thing also. Maybe they can make mistakes as well. I don't know.
Might go down to that perception type
Yeah.
of thing,
Yeah.
right? So,
And that could also turn into maybe some questions on maybe the Radiance betraying the Spren? Could that have actually been maybe
legit.
something that they really needed to do? Or
I really want
was
to
it
fucking know that too.
I know,
a tough
dude.
decision for them?
Dude, and we're gonna talk about that. We could actually talk about it now, I guess, if we want to go kind of like out of order, which is fine. Okay, we'll save it for Dalinar's chapter, but we're gonna come back. That you cool with that, Captain?
Yeah, that's fine. I want to
Alright.
talk Day of Recreance as well.
Yeah, we got some Day of Recreance tidbits to discuss. All right, so story-wise, Dalinar can now bring people into his visions.
Yes.
Which is pretty dope, especially considering his struggle to meet with the monarchs.
Yeah.
So talk about a handy skill. And I thought it was funny how he kind of realized it in the end of part 1. He's like, what? I could bring people?
Yeah.
And then it kind of dawned on him. So immediately, of course, he put some of his counterpart monarchs in the same position that he was in. And I will say that the Queen of Themos, or what's the...
Phelan?
Thalium?
Phalanar?
Yeah.
Yeah, Phalanar, that's it. Sorry. God, Brandon Sanderson, I'm sorry for butchering names, and I audiobook too. But I take very fast notes, and, that's what happens. But I thought she did pretty good in that. That was the
Yeah,
one where
she
Dalinar
rounded the
was
people.
fighting him with the...
I think she did really well as well.
yeah. Although she did sacrifice the mom, but she saved the whole town.
But she saved the whole town, bro.
Yeah.
Even Dalinar was impressed. He's like, oh my gosh, what you did. Like, I saved 2 people.
But I think also the whole intent is you're supposed to be able to, things are going to kind of work for you to do something. Because I don't think that person in the way that Honor kind of set it up wouldn't let the main kind of catalyst of the environment die. Right. So they're going to be able to survive somehow. And it just so happens if you're going to run out and be like, come with me, they're going to help keep you alive.
I think it's also a little bit of a test. Almost like Honor sets it up so his visions are a bit of a test. And then when he gets somebody, because, the Stormfather could give them to whoever they want. They just give it to some guy, and some guy just totally fails and runs away and doesn't save anybody. And he's like, well, I'm not going to show him that vision again.
Yeah, but I feel like there's something, like you said, there's some things about the story or the vision that Honor wants you to see, but he doesn't control everything.
Yeah.
So the fact that she did that, I think, is not necessarily something that he planned.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
I think what he wanted people to get out of the vision is the beasts and then the radiance coming in.
Yeah. And then at the end, he always just gives them a pep talk.
A pep talk, yeah.
Right.
And that's the kind of important part. That's always the same.
Yep.
And then everything else is kind of up to you and how you would handle the situation.
Choose your own adventure story.
They get
And
a
that's
true
very-
taste of the desolation as well. It really puts them in gives them a first-hand experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. The cool thing is it's cool that we have more information and we're revisiting the visions, because just like Dalinar, he kind of realizes oh, I didn't notice that before. Oh, that's just a man. And those are... How did I not notice that those were parshmen?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All of the hints, but now that he's becoming educated, it's kind of after the fact, realizing all this stuff. But I like his...
Oh, it's like us when we're reading the book and we're looking back like, oh yeah, now I know what that was.
Like when I reread part 2 again.
1
Yeah.
Today.
It's huge.
or this week.
So,
I was just like, oh, I didn't notice that the first time. That's kind of cool.
so then he brings the queen in and it pretty much works. He gets
Her attention.
He gets her attention, and it sounds like that could work. And then he tries the kid, the Emperor of Azir,
Prime.
The Prime, right?
Right.
And our good buddy Lift is
Pulls him
gets right in the way of there. So it seems to be working, and he's just got this kid, and Dalinar's pumped.
It's really Dalinar's fault for having such a nice butt.
Yeah.
That's what he gets, man.
Seriously,
People with
though.
a butt like that spend too much time punching people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I?
Old men are supposed to have saggy butts.
I couldn't. I was really shocked. I wasn't expecting for the Stormfather to be surprised that Lift was there.
And so put off by it.
That
like,
really makes
frustrated.
me see Lift. I was like, oh man, I knew she was a badass, but
Well,
what,
Dude.
There's
so
something there.
There's something
I
there.
think
she
there's-
can do shit that even
I
the
think
people
she's
that
a
run these worlds
catalyst
can't do.
of another one of the gods that will.
Yeah,
I was
talk
just
a little
thinking
bit
the same
later.
thing. I think she's the cultivation.
Cultivation.
Yeah.
Well, then
She's
that
bound
means
to
that
cultivation.
I think we're kind of in
You
agreement
saying you
here.
think she bonded cultivation?
No.
No.
I think that cultivation may be using her because cultivation's all about change, and maybe using her
Food
to
instead
make
of
sure
Stormlight
that she can the world kind of like this is how cultivation's kind of influencing the world to not let Odium win.
Yeah. So if you're in agreement, then I think we all kind of think that the Night Mother
Yeah.
is probably
Night Watcher.
cultivation. Night
Yeah.
Watcher, not
The
Night
Night
Mother.
Watcher
Ooh,
is
I can't mix those up. Yeah, the Night Mother
Oblivion?
Shallan beat.
Like, well,
I think
Night
Odium
Watcher
definitely
Shallan
clarifies
Odium.
that it is.
no,
Yeah.
but
But Liv definitely
Night
comes
Mother,
from
right?
the background where she was a part of that whole
Yeah.
Night Watcher, and
Does she?
yeah, like in her history or her past story, that she mentions how
She went to
was,
go see the Night Mother. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
how she
Okay.
got
Or the Night Watcher?
left by her.
Jesus.
The Night
Sorry, guys,
Watcher.
online.
That's the
Night Watcher.
Skyrim.
Night Watcher.
who went
Not
to
the Night Mother. The Night Mother Shallan beat last part.
no, wait, that's
Yeah.
the Midnight Mother.
Oh, Jesus. It's the Night Mother.
Fact checker.
Too many nights.
Yeah,
We'll have the fact checker check it
but
out.
who went to who just a second ago?
Lift has gone to
Oh,
the
the old
Night
magic.
Watcher, the old magic, same as Dalinar,
Yeah.
but the old magic Spren, who might be cultivation, gave Lift more than most. And
Yeah.
I loved how the Stormfather, I don't know if you guys agree with this, but the Stormfather kind of has been becoming more and more human a little bit. Like he understands more. And I loved it when he was like, that woman goes too far. He's just like so angry.
But that's an awesome point though. Is he talking about Lift or is he talking about cultivation, who has been referred to as a woman?
I think he's
Right.
talking
So,
about
yeah,
cultivation.
cultivation,
who
yeah.
Me
gave,
too.
Yeah,
But
her that
Yeah.
ability.
I think so too.
yeah, I mean, Liv's request was insane.
yeah.
It was to not age or live forever.
No, I think it was to not change.
Not change.
Not change.
Which is the opposite
Of
of
what
what cultivation
cultivation can do.
does.
Mhm.
So, and also they kind of indicated in the in-between book that Lift asked that, but also that she has changed anyway. Because
Yes.
she's taller.
She is.
That's why she always says, I've been 10 for 4 years.
The
And then
ten's
like runs
unlucky.
around. But she's actually changing. So the question is, what did she really get when
Yeah.
she said that? You know what I mean?
Because she got a lot of powers.
Yeah.
Mm.
And if it's the
Seems-
cultivation's nature to force change,
Mhm.
that's kind of contradictory and kind of interesting. And well, we'll put a cap in that for now. I think we could move on. Captain, anything from the Shattered Plains you got to say? on,
I was just
Lift?
going to say, going on Lift's, what did she gain from the old source of old magic? There's certainly a lot of evidence to see what she gained from it, but what the heck could she have lost? Because we haven't seen any weakness of character from her yet. So I'm kind of wondering what the trade-off was, if
Yeah.
there was, or maybe there was just a bogus trade and Lift got all the benefit and no penalty.
So, and we're wondering that now with Dalinar, and I'm wondering if the boon and curse trade-off is not necessarily mandatory.
yeah,
Maybe it's just change in general, because Dalinar had a, quote, memory taken away, and we don't know the boon versus the curse. It's kind of foggy. We're trying to figure it out. And with Lift, she eats food instead of sucks Stormlight,
Yeah.
which is kind of both
Well,
a
she can
boon
do
and a
both,
curse.
though.
She's never sucked Stormlight in yet.
I'm pretty sure
She never
in
has.
that interlude.
As a matter of fact, every time
Anybody remember
she's
her?
She always eats food to get
Oh, she eats
food.
to
She's
get
never
to use her
sucked Stormlight.
abilities.
And so the interesting thing is that is both a boon and a curse depending on the situation you're in.
Because she loses, she can't gain weight.
She can't gain
she's,
weight.
Like, gets
Also,
really
if she's
hungry.
out of food. You can't just like suck Stormlight. You can't suck food in out of nowhere. So, but at the same time, during the weeping and things like that,
It also kind of
She
makes
could keep
me
using
wonder
powers.
if she's capable of using up so much Stormlight that
maybe she's limited, right? Because
Yeah,
she could
that it
kill
could
herself.
actually kill herself,
Like
yeah.
too much
Well,
metabolism.
Wendell kind of hints at that. Like, if you keep running like this,
Right.
it'll
Yeah.
like you don't have the stores. You can't keep doing this.
So
like,
whereas if somebody would just run dry and be like, "Oh crap, I'm normal,"
I need
until
more.
until
Oh
I
man,
get
I
more
didn't realize I
Stormlight."
used so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that.
So that's kind of an interesting. It could be Captain. It could be both a boon and a curse. We're not sure.
Yeah. Also, going back to Dalinar's boon and curse, not to get too far ahead, there is something said later that makes me wonder if his understanding of the old magic is just like of what he asked for is just completely wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also there's no memory of what he really asked for.
Exactly. He doesn't even know what he
He
asked
just
for. It's all just
thinks.
gone.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she implanted the idea of it being about her or if she
Losing her
did that
memory
just
of
so
her.
that that's what he thought it was to kind of be like a red herring or whatever.
Speaking of which,
Okay, it's Midnight Mother. I'm done.
Midnight Mother.
Midnight Mother.
I'm trying to say
The
this for
hitman
an
was
hour.
correct. It
Spit
is.
it out.
It is Midnight Mother, and
And the
I
Night
apologize.
Watcher.
And the Night Watcher.
Night Watcher.
Also, Wendell
That's
refers
a
to the
show.
Night Watcher as Mother, and she chose Lift for him
And-
to bond with.
Yes,
Oh.
dude, we were just talking about that for folks on air. We were just talking about that, and I said I apparently forgot that part, but I said that I think that Wendell is a spren of cultivation, and that would work,
That makes sense because he's got all the vines.
dude. That
Yeah.
would work, and also she can touch her
She can
spren.
Touch him.
Yeah, super interesting. Anyway, that's. I don't know what's going on, man. I'm just getting hyper. Okay, so Kaladin has returned, and we get to catch up with Bridge 4.
Oh, hey, Kale.
Oh, hey, Cal.
As it turns out, while Kaladin's been gone, people have been getting married, courting men,
Yes!
becoming religious. It's funny that Kaladin was totally unsurprised about the courting man thing, and then completely surprised by something else that seemed so...
With Renarin, him starting to learn how to read, or
read,
people talking
yeah.
about he
He's
might
like,
learn to read.
You're going to learn how to
It's
read?
But I actually, it's so
so-
great how they explain the. They're like, well, the guy who's dating a man obviously doesn't want to do anything to do with women, so he's more manly.
I know.
That was hilarious.
Wants to go
Brandon
after-
Sanderson actually stole that joke from me.
Oh,
I made that joke before.
I think he hit the nail on the head on that one.
All I can say is it's
Good job,
super,
Sanderson.
super awesome when Sanderson puts kind of these interesting tidbits in, because it kind of mirrors society in a way and people's actual thoughts of society, and then also completely contradicts real society. So it's pretty
Right.
It's pretty cool. He's
Right.
he's done a good job with that. Kaladin also in that chapter shows a moment of extreme sexism to with
The
Lynn.
scouts.
Yeah, Lynn. He's
know.
like.
He's so close-minded sometimes.
He is.
Yeah.
It's funny. He's such a great character, but he's so close-minded. Just
Well, I like that he's capable of being like, oh man, kind of thought about that in a stupid way, like later once he
Later,
reflects
yeah,
on it.
exactly.
But in the moment, he says such stupid things sometimes.
well, it's funny because he was so anti light eyes, kind of racist light
Yeah.
eyes, and then he's kind of become a light eyes,
Yeah.
and then now he's acting certain ways and judging people in certain ways,
Right.
Like, and it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what eye color you have. He's just literally being
Role casting them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
role
But I
casting.
think even if it didn't come eyes, he would still think the same thing.
he would exactly.
It's like, oh, you're a woman. You wanted to join us? We could use some scribes.
yeah.
But
Which
what
is-
he really meant is they want to be
Yep.
Wind Runners.
But
Exactly.
the thing that I like though is that in that example, just how quickly he flipped.
Yes.
He,
He did.
he also kind of pigeonholed her because like they really needed one.
Yeah.
and he
Right.
was kind of like,
Oh, we do need a scribe. Yeah. Right.
you know, you're a woman. Let's.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, I don't want to. And then as soon as he realized, like, okay, she's really not digging this. Let's
Yeah.
let her do
Well,
what she
what's
wants
his
to
name
do.
said something.
And he does flip
Zigzal.
when he thinks about
Oh, yeah,
it.
Zigzal.
It's like, you're an idiot. I was like, oh, what? And I really do like that. He just realized
He did.
he made a mistake.
I know.
And that's cool
And
because
that's big positive character. I think that
Yeah.
if you can realize you did something wrong and then accept it and like
Fixes it.
fix it right there.
Exactly.
And I think that also can lead really well into like how you start to learn about the struggles of acceptance, and also certain Bridge 4 members start to be able to get the powers of an acolyte of Kaladin, being able to use the storm. What do they call the Windrunner abilities? And all of a sudden, some of them are getting it and some are not. And then there's all this like, how come am I not good enough? Why am I not getting it? And it starts to kind of lead into like, how do those the acolytes develop, and how do they?
Those Alakites, I know they develop
Those
really well.
Alakites.
Oh god. I was so happy. This is a quick side.
Sure.
When Hopper
Yes.
was able to
Get his feedback.
feedback,
Heck yeah,
like,
man.
Yeah.
he can finally like not be so sad stealing potatoes.
Of course,
Right.
you know this part's so happy right now with all of Bridge 4 getting all this
Yeah,
good stuff.
something
And then
bad's
Rock
gonna
even
happen.
tries to tell him, he's like, dude, we're going to war, man.
Yeah, you
Kellen's
won't be
like,
able to
I don't need
save
to worry
everyone.
about Bridge 4 anymore. They're just going to heal, and it's all going to be
Yeah.
great, and it's going to be great, and I could just be super cool. And Rock's just kind of like, hey, I don't want to burst your bubble, but, like, you can't literally protect everyone. People are going to die.
Yeah.
So,
It's not going to be you being special against a bunch of normal people anymore.
yeah.
It's going to be
Right.
strong people versus strong people.
Special versus special.
Yeah.
And now we're kind of seeing that the enemy, in this case, the fused, have lashing or like abilities of their own. Not the same as lashings,
Well,
but like
it seems like they have their own
version of
10,
lashings. Yeah.
categories.
Yes.
Like some can fly, some
Have like could grow spikes
Spikes.
and change their body and armor.
and so like it's like a reflection of the 10 heroes.
Yeah, I bet so.
And they have their own 10 abilities.
And then also, you got to start thinking about they can essentially come back to life during
They're
every
immortal
storm.
every time. Yeah.
They need a host, from
Yeah.
what we can understand. I don't know if it's a willing host or a non-willing host, but I think it's a sacrifice.
I don't
which would
think
be
it has
a
to be
non-willing.
willing.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
the people
They
that
said
they're
it
getting don't
seemed
even know.
they said it's like the last sacrifice, which would mean it's probably not willing, but they can come back
But-
essentially whenever.
So I don't know because I've read the interludes, so I have a little bit more of an
Yeah.
idea about that. It's not fact yet, but
But what about, was there a Moas in the interludes? Well, that was a chapter.
no,
that was a chapter.
Yeah.
So when he
the one that he
killed,
killed, yeah,
when,
came back.
yeah.
yeah. So
And she's like, I don't really care to kill me. Like this
Yeah.
that's
thing
come
about
back every
it.
time.
Yeah, that shows what'd she say? It shows your passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Which it's very interesting because we learn that passion and all of those emotions are part of odium.
Odium.
So and you think like passion's not a bad thing at all. Like neither is lust lust.
Oh no, lust is not a bad thing at all.
No, they're one of the.
It's not.
It's all that stuff that's gonna reflect him aren't necessarily evil in nature.
Yeah.
But it seems they're already trying to. He's trying, like Brandon Sanderson's trying to bridge that. Like, is just a classification. Like, we're throwing like, oh, odium's this evil thing, and all of a sudden now it's like, is he really evil, or is passion and courageousness and like all these like
It's funny.
really strong emotions?
I agree, yeah, I think it's funny because just like we were just talking about Kaladin and how he just simply thought, oh, this is a woman, she wants to join us, she wants to be a scribe. It's like kind of like that predetermined prejudices. And then we have the same thing. Like odium keeps on being described as evil from the perspective of
Like,
Honor.
and people, you know what I mean? But then when we actually see like what he actually is or hear about it, then we're just kind of like, oh, we had that same prejudice towards him because we didn't really know anything about him, which is kind of like opening, like, oh man,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? We still do this too, even though we might think that
But
we're
also,
not.
so far, most of our information about odium, all of our revealing information about odium, other than just the stuff that the good guys are saying, is from odium. So we also have to kind of take it with a grain of salt. Like maybe he's really just trying to play Dalinar, and everything he's saying is kind of
He was
There's a
honest
lie.
about one thing,
Yeah.
and that said he will go away after he kills and does more.
Yeah, I know. I like how he's like, just
I'm
let me
killing
go.
cultivators.
It's like, are you going to kill people? Yeah. It's like, oh, all right.
Well, I don't know if he even says he would kill. I think he would just end everything.
I think he specifically wanted to end the creation sprint, right? What was
he
it?
wanted
Cultivation.
specifically to kill cultivation.
Right, cultivation.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
would change things, but he didn't necessarily say he would like reap like hell on earth or
Well,
anything.
in case you guys didn't notice too, in the beginning chapters, you know how there's like a certain excerpts from books. There was one where they said, I don't know why these shards, blah, 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 are conglomerating in the same area. There's really only supposed to be one per thing. The outcome is never good when there's more. And I think that might have to do with the fact that there literally were 3 pseudo-gods in the same
realms.
And they're all...
And he explains it. There can't be 3 gods. Like, when there's 2, there's going to be conflict, constant conflict. Let me get rid of this so we can get rid of the whole conflict. That's kind of his deal. Yeah. Which really, when you think about it, like, that doesn't sound so bad.
The thing is, though, is it doesn't sound so bad on the surface, but it's pretty much what has led to every single atrocity in human existence. Anyway.
Yeah,
right. Exactly.
I would assume that it kind of carries on into these universes,
But
maybe.
Odium also, though, kind of explains that pure cultivation, pure change isn't a great thing either. Like,
she
doesn't care if change is, like, everyone dying. Like, it's a change. Like, as long as there continues to be change, she doesn't care if it's good or bad. And I'm thinking, like, Honor probably was the same way. Like, it didn't care, like, maybe the morality, but there's going to be a downside to just
keep you
only caring about... all you have to do is keep your word. Like, if your word's that you're going to go out and kill a bunch of people, and you kind of hold to that.
Right.
So all of them are not necessarily good, or none of them are necessarily bad. But the fact that there's multiple is bad, because it's always going to continue conflict.
Maybe it's good if they're in balance, but because they're not in balance...
All 3 separate factors seem to act as separate entities, and they all want extremes in what in their end game, and certainly, like, when you get to one extreme of the spectrum over the other, that in itself can be a bad thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Even the good things, like even the side that's like, oh, you must keep your oaths. Well, if you make an oath that you later find out is completely immoral, it seems like the more moral thing to do is to break your oath. But if you go to an extreme, it's like, no, you said that you were going to protect this person, even though you found out later he's terrible. You know,
right? Kind of like the former Radiants,
who
killed their friend.
We got to figure out about that. Hey,
I still don't know what I feel about them.
Yeah, so
really want to know.
Yeah,
before we get a little,
you talking about Stormlight or Game of Thrones?
Oh snap! So before we get a little further, because we are starting to talk about some advanced stuff,
right?
I want us to first talk about Dalinar bringing Navani and Yasna into the vision and we learn the real info.
Yeah.
So like we get most, or at least some, of the history of what went down.
Right.
So let's talk about that. And then, before we do, is there anything else you guys want to mention? Or let's save Rock's POV and Teft for after that. Mm-hmm. But let's talk about what Dalinar learns. That way, when we're referencing this stuff later, we got more. We don't have to like reinvent the wheel, so to speak.
Cool. I love it when you use acronyms. It really turns me on.
Yeah, I believe in when I was editing a lot of these. Manny is constantly yelling at me to stop using sexual innuendos, and I'm like, I'm not doing it that much. And I was editing it, and I was like, I didn't mean to.
You're just a pervert's friend.
I'm a pervert's friend.
So anyway, it's pretty awesome because, as we get into this, it's awesome that Dalinar starts to actually bring in like scholars who are going to be able to say like he's uncaring about like really the timing of it and all the historical aspects. He's just like, what's the message I'm being fed, or what am I getting out of this, and how can I get a little bit more? But then you bring like Navani and Yasna in, and all of a sudden it's like they're wearing this, the archaeology or the structure is this, so it must be dated in these periods, which changes our history or our timeline of what we thought happened, and all this amazing stuff. And then we start to even get some input from the Stormfather himself, who's giving information about what happened in the past. So they're starting to get this.
Find out at some point that it's potential that this is after the desolations, right? It was like a false desolation. I forgot what they called it.
Even said the victory. It was after the quote unquote victory of the desolation.
That was when everyone dropped their weapons.
No, that was before that.
The recreance is when
the
betrayal of the Radiance, but what did they call the victory day? They called it I can't remember. We'll have to have the fact checker. I can't remember. But that day that they won clearly was fake, and you even get to see what was it, Jezrien, the king of the heralds, and he's just like, we won, blah blah blah. And it's funny that Dalinar's like, is is Yesrian brown-eyed?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
But if the heralds were there, then that had to have been a real one, because if the heralds were out of the hell or that place, then it had to have been a desolation, because as soon as one of them leaves,
it was the
so
end
it was
of
a real desolation.
It was the end of a real desolation.
Harietium.
Harietium.
It was the last.
Nice, Manny.
It was the last distillation, and all the heralds left. And then he was there, and he was the one who told the people that they won. And it was
Permanently.
over.
Yeah.
He's like, we won. Go chill.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately for
The
poor, super badass guy that
Who
they
was
left in
never
hell,
supposed to be a herald.
he was never supposed to be a herald.
And he's the only one to never give up in
Yeah.
the hell, or never to break his oath.
Like,
And it's
he
funny-
was not a king or
Yeah.
lord or anything, so he must have been like a farmer or something,
Yeah.
and he got chosen.
And it was so cool because literally by the end of it, they explain it how first it was like hundreds of years before one of them gave out.
Or like thousands.
Then first it was hundreds. This is before it was him alone.
Well, yeah.
No, that's
Just when they were together,
They said thousands.
No, he said hundreds.
Well,
Yeah, I thought he said 100.
He said hundreds. They didn't even make it to 1,000 years when they were all
Yeah.
together.
No, they didn't. They did not make it. I know that for a fact.
I know. I read that twice.
Because they said like when it was all of them, at least one of them broke before that. But
Then
when
they
it was
all
just
came
him, it was
5,000 years.
4,500
Yeah.
years.
But yeah.
Well, and even the last one before the end, it was barely 2 years between
Yeah,
the
it was
desolations.
less
than a year.
Less than a year or
It
something.
was like quicker and quicker and quicker. They kept breaking, and then they just put that guy back. They're like, oh, we've all broken, but that one guy hasn't broken yet. Just put him back in
I
there.
don't think they even realized that until
Until
later.
after.
well, it's not necessarily that they didn't realize it, because I remember reading in the first prologue that we read for the first book. Everybody's
they
like,
did.
"Oh, we'll leave him," because he's always the one that puts himself in a dangerous situation or is willing to put himself.
He was always fighting unwinning battles. But I'm saying that they wanted to be free. Each one of them before that they decided, I'm not going back, except for that one guy. And he just happened to die, and all of them lived. And so they took the chance, like, let's just leave him, and we're going to cut him run.
Right.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be a great chance because they had
Yeah.
4,500 years of vacation.
Right.
Yeah.
It's too bad that they're already insane.
I wish they
but-
would have prepared. Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, you're
Well-
like only as strong as your weakest link, and it seemed like all the other guys were
We're
the
the weakest
links.
links.
Yeah, you know, the other guys
It is.
sitting there like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this hot! Come on, guys!"
Yeah.
He's like chilling.
Every time they go into the hell, every time they go into the hell, that other guy's just like, yeah, dude, whatever.
Yeah,
It's like
whatever.
nothing, whatever.
a
Then they
little
keep
pain.
breaking. He's like, God damn it, Jimmy. Why are we getting out of here again?
You
God
kings
damn it."
can't take shit.
But unfortunately for us, probably, that guy's completely insane now.
After 4,500 years of torture. Yeah.
Yeah. But
He lasted.
What?
He did a good go though.
I gotta say, though, I like
It was a
never
good
have to
run.
go.
I do like Yesna's plan. They're gonna kill one of them and just basically put a herald back in and
Just
see
like
if
kill
they
them
can-
all.
Yeah, but you know what I'm
yeah.
saying. But
Yeah.
I don't
The
think
thing is,
it'll
it
work.
wouldn't work at
though.
all.
I know it
All
wouldn't
do
work.
is-
Yeah.
like, I'm done. And then
yeah,
again.
they would.
Yeah. Well,
The
also they
pack's
have the Everstorm
done
now.
though, right?
They have the Everstorm, but I thought it was an interesting idea. Just because if you didn't know about the Everstorm,
Well, I think though
She's
the
cold-blooded, though.
Everstorm
Cold-blooded.
would keep them from. I think the
it
spread.
says that they don't go back into what do they call it? The
Desolation.
No,
desolation.
because
Damnation.
they stay out in the Everstorm now.
Well, they broke the oath already.
no,
so
it hasn't been
it's not,
completely broken.
it's not completely broken yet.
So I think if all of them like voluntarily went, even the Everstorm could keep coming, but there wouldn't be any spren there. They would have been forced back into that, like whatever
to the
hell.
damnation.
Wait,
The
so
damnation.
if we think that the crazy guy is definitely the herald that stayed behind,
Yeah.
why isn't the oath pact completely broken then? If he's now the only one that
Because
was behind is
They
here.
all came out at every time.
Yeah, they
So
all
now
come out
they're all
every
just
time.
finally all out again.
They all come out every
okay,
time.
okay.
Basically, once one of them breaks, all of the Dark's Odium Spren and all of the Heralds come back.
Yeah.
But then when one of them dies, they go back, or when the Spren died, they used to go back, and then the other Heralds would choose to go back
Yeah.
if they didn't die.
if they didn't die
Yeah.
at some point. But at this point,
I mean, it seems like if that doesn't break the pact, that they would just say, well, whoever lives actually gets to live this desolation period outside.
Outside, and then you could
It
just
seems
like rotate
no
it.
reason to.
Yeah.
They said it wasn't broken. It's just really weak.
it's about to break.
Yeah.
I think the only reason why it's weak is because of the one
Yeah.
that stayed in there, because he doesn't know that the others broke the pact.
I think
That makes
he
me
did because
question
they
if it's
shared the
even
burden
him.
on the other side.
Oh,
that's
did
true. They shared it.
And so he would realize like no one's here. Where's everyone? And he's just like he was the guy who never broke, and he's just like I'm just gonna stop it myself.
So he
What a
still believed in the
boss.
pact. Like,
What a
hey,
boss.
I'm gonna sacrifice myself for the better being.
And he did it for Fauna.
That's what
What
I'm
a
saying.
boss.
Like
He
he's
knows
a
he got
boss.
betrayed,
He still stayed
and he still stayed for longer than anybody's ever stayed before.
Yeah.
by not a small margin.
Yeah.
By a
By a
large
Well,
large
but then again, we don't
Exponentially.
know how many times the desolations happened. So it could have been millennia that they
Yeah.
kept resurrecting and going back for like
Well,
10,
I'm assuming
20 years.
They did it for like thousands of years.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
And then there's
But this guy already
One
did it.
away.
Yeah, so you would think like if they come back every like 10 or 100 years, between 10 and 100 years, they're in there a majority of the time. Then they're back for a year, and then
Right.
they go back in. So they still
Yeah.
probably did millennia in the damnation.
So Yesna has kind of another good plan, which is you probably need to get a cover like Ben. Yeah, I think that I've lost my train of thought now. Totally, Josh got me on that one. That's fine. All right, we got to move on anyway.
yeah.
So
Talking about Rock.
yeah, Rock's POV was kind of
Awesome.
cool. We find out that his real name is like
Yeah. Can you say it for me, Jeff?
Lunamar.
No, his whole name.
Oh, I can't. Lunamar Ukulaki Maki Kukalaki Cookie.
Something like that.
Did they actually pronounce it in the book?
Now I wanna
In
know.
the
Oh, yeah.
audio?
They definitely
That's
do in
awesome.
the audio.
That's in the audiobook. His name is Lilo.
Just think about the guy
Stitch.
reading that. And he's like, seriously? You want me to read this?
How many times did he practice? How many times did he practice? I don't
Come
know.
on, Sanderson. the guys that did the audiobook, the guy and girl, was just like, what? You're not paying me enough for this shit, Sanderson.
But he does get his family back, which is
Yes.
kind of cool.
Right.
He's got
Yes.
a lot of kids. Some of them he hasn't seen, which is pretty interesting.
A lot of kids. I don't know if I'd say that.
3?
There's like 3 kids.
I thought he had
thought there
5.
was 4 or 5.
I thought he had 2 older. His youngest.
Fact checker.
He had like 2 sons and 2
we'll
daughters.
give
Man,
it-
he's going to
Yeah.
work tonight.
And what's very
He's got
interesting
his
is
fact
He's got
checking.
at least 2 sons and 2 daughters.
what's very interesting too that the Horn Eaters allow them to pick whatever religion. So one of his daughters doesn't even follow the Horn Eater religion.
So one of them's
Well,
foreign.
yeah.
Vorin, yeah, follows the Vorin doctrine.
All right, man. What do we got?
And
so
also,
much.
we get some really amazing kind of perspective from him, where he talks about all the different groups within the Bridge Four and how, like, how each person, like, oh, this person hasn't quite reached the acolyte state yet, and he hasn't been able
Right.
to harness the power.
It's kind of cool. You get a feel for how the Radiants used to work. You kind of like squire. And then when you're squiring with Radiant, if you start to become...
Namuhuku Makiyaki.
Namahuku Makiaki.
How many kids?
Come on. How many kids, fact checker?
Rock's like the little Rock of Bridge
Yeah.
4 because everyone
Yeah.
like seems to come to him
Yeah.
and like talk about the problems.
Yeah,
And it's always the same problem. I don't belong in Bridge 4. I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
Rock's like, seriously? You're good enough. Just get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Bridge 4 is for the renegades.
Yeah, it's like, I don't belong.
Yeah.
Like, and it's
I
everyone's
think
problem.
I
I
think
think
it's
a
crazy.
good. Oh, go ahead, Brett.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say. I think it's crazy that these people that have like been shot at with arrows and faced certain death are now like, oh, I don't fit in. It's like, man,
It's because the one thing that saved him in that situation was this, like,
everybody
bonding.
being together.
Yeah.
I know it shows how important it is.
It is,
You know, it's
yeah.
like it's more scary than dying.
Yeah. And they all kind of have a bit of that, and especially some of the new guys, and especially Relaine.
Which
But before we do that, Captain was going to say something. We got to get him on.
Okay.
I was just going to say, as a good lead-in, we get perspective of a lot of different people from Bridge 4 in this book.
Yes, we do.
And Sanderson gives us a perspective from Teft. And in the, I found his chapter to be really fascinating. In the acknowledgments for the audiobook, it might be in the physical book as well, but Sanderson gives credit to somebody that he spoke to regarding, I'm assuming it's Teft's perspective with
Addiction?
Moss.
addiction, right?
Yeah.
Because Teft is really hooked to the fire moss, something awful. And I think that he does a really good job kind of displaying this like feeling of entrapment and like hopelessness that Teft has. So I kind of thought that was a kind of a dark but a really well written segment.
Yeah, I agree. And,
Yeah.
and I hope they kind of hint at it, right? Like throughout the book, they're like, "Where's Tef? Tef's gone." And then they keep going on with the chapter. 6 kids.
And,
oh
and
yeah.
the thing that I really also liked about it is how understanding like Bridge 4 and Kaladin and everybody are of it. Like they realize his quality of character. They realize who he is as a person, and they know that this flaw, this thing that, plagues you, that you hate just as much as anybody else would, really doesn't have any window into who you are, like, as a person. It's something that can take over you, but we know that you're an awesome guy. And I loved how, like, when they went into the, I don't know, bar, I guess you would call it, and they found him, and they're just like, there he is, let's get him, It's just like, it was like not a big deal. It's like, whatever, man. It's like, it's as if you trip, it happens. Sorry.
Right. They've all been through much worse.
Yeah.
The struggle is real.
Dude,
and one thing that before we move on from that, I kind of want to ask, or who thinks, and I don't like this, but I feel it's a bit of foreshadowing or a bit of setup that he is going to betray at some point because of his addiction. He's going to betray Bridge 4, or it's going to push him to a very bad place that I'm sure he'll come back from. But there's going to be a need that's so strong, and I'm wondering if it's going to be like the Ghost Bloods, or someone's going to find, we now have someone who has this crippling addiction.
If he's going to betray them, I don't think so. If he's going to let them down in some way by not being there, I think that's...
I have the feeling that it's setting up for something like that. I immediately went towards the betrayal, but maybe it is just going to be a failure on his part.
Here's my counter-argument to full betrayal. He seems to be one of the few bridgemen that already has a bond with a full high spren. A high spren that talks to him. Not all of them do. And so the fact that he's bonded to an honor spren, I think, will mean that he won't betray them, but he might let them down. I could see let them down. I don't know about full betrayal.
But as we've learned with when Syl was basically almost killed, or was killed when Kaladin almost killed Elhokar. He's definitely capable. Just because you have a spren doesn't suddenly make you this is someone that won't break oaths.
That's true.
It just means that now you have more consequences to your oaths. You have somebody's life on the line. And but I think that definitely he's going to be, I think it's like almost 100% that he's going to be pitted with the decision, do I give in to this or do I come through for my group? But I am hoping that he comes through. Yeah. But I think that choice is going to be there. That situation is going to come.
It seems too much of a setup, and with how much Brandon Sanderson kind of touches on like real life issues and kind of these consequences of certain things, that it's going to come to a head where that's going to be something that is going to affect the story, and it's going to have a meaningful, like, if he didn't do this, someone would have died.
Well, there's also a part of me that I felt that too, but the part of me that makes me think that maybe he won't give into it is the idea of he may be kind of maybe drawing a contrast, setting us up with that idea that he is going to not lose, because Moash kind of set that up for us already. We've already seen it, so it's kind of in our heads already that maybe he's going to fail, and I think that he's setting us up for a moment of triumph potentially where he overcomes it. So we'll see.
Awesome. Dude, I still think Lopin's going to betray them all. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Dude, tell me that scene where he accidentally stuck himself to the ground when he was trying to fly, and he's like, "Don't worry, my love. I won't leave you for long. I'll always come back."
Familiarizing himself with the ground before he leaves it to take to the skies.
And then his attitude, that when I listened to that in the audiobook, I was dying.
He is one of the more most delightful characters to kind of read about, because it's just like
he's definitely the comic relief.
I want to know where Sanderson was inspired for this guy.
I know.
If he knows anybody like that, it's freaking hilarious.
And it's amazing all the his cousins, and it's funny because even they reference a little bit later that even the cousins are getting their acolyte powers of a windrunner before who is it?
Is it acolyte or Squire?
Right.
I think Squire. The last
They're
one.
calling him Squire.
Oh, okay, Squire. Sorry.
But acolyte is the same thing. I don't know. I mean,
no, acolyte is not the same thing.
I mean, it depends on what games you're playing. Okay. All right, bro. It's Squire. In the book, it's Squire.
I'm just playing Ragnarok, Manny. As an acolyte.
We know
So-
the difference between Acolyte and Squire and Ragnarok.
Dude, before we
Mess
take
with the fact checker,
before
who
we
knows?
close out episode 15 and take a break to refill drinks and then start filming episode 16, what I want to ask you guys is, we got through Bridge 4 and we got through Rock. What do you guys think? Oh shit, I forgot it. About Elokar. We haven't talked about Elokar in a while, and Elokar, even in part 1, we kind of brushed over it, but Elokar has kind of been in some rough spots. He's a king, but now he's kind of a subordinate king.
Yeah.
He bent the knee to Dalinar as the
Leader of
High King
High
of
King.
Urithiru.
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 And he...
He's the king of Urethra.
Yeah. He's the king of urethra.
King of Urethra.
So anyway, but he's got this plan to get Kaladin to fly him. And even Kaladin's like, why is Elokar have to
Why
come?
am I
don't you
taking
just-
him? Yeah.
Why don't you just send Adolin and me and just let it be done with?
Let's make sure it's a success.
Yeah.
But I actually I really do like Dalinar's idea to send him, because he is the king. He's
Gives him
trying to take
purpose.
responsibility, and he's actually really trying to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
I
Yeah,
kind
me
of like
too.
that. Yeah.
I think sometimes it's easy to overlook exactly how hard that would be for someone in his position. He's
Yeah.
the king.
Relinquish.
He's supposed to be always right. He's supposed to be like the light eyes that even light eyes look up to and listen to. And he's basically really almost begrudgingly, but also he's like humbling himself and putting himself in situations where he can learn. He's like, yeah, Kaladin's better. I got to learn from him. You know.
Yeah.
So
I like
like
his
it.
attitude.
yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Captain.
Oh, I was just agreeing with you. I really like that Elokar is, they're kind of giving him a chance at redemption. And I think that for him, it'll do his character a lot of good if he can get back into Kholinar and save his wife, I think is kind of in danger there.
Save his city. Even. Be
Yeah,
huge.
and save his throne. So I think that's a real good move for him. And if it is successful, you know, I think that gives him precedence for a brighter future. For like, you know, maybe he can retain some power and become a better leader out of it.
Yeah, I also think that there's still the kind of question of, does he have a spren, or is there something? Because we
I
never
think he
really
does, man.
we never really solved the whole his constant fear of assassins and seeing things in the shadows and the dark, and maybe we've just kind of moved and grown on from that, but there still hasn't seemed to be that resolution.
I think he has a spren, and I'm willing to make it a Brett bet.
Ooh.
I thought we did already, no?
Did we?
I don't know.
We have not done a Brett
We
bet
do have
on,
a few-
Elokar.
We do have a few Brett bets that did get answered, so have we covered any of those yet?
We haven't. We're going to.
We're going
though.
to.
Okay.
That's coming up.
We'll
'cause
cover
we got to
them in the
talk
end.
shit.
Yeah.
We don't have to cover that.
Did Manny lose them all again?
We might have to do it in episode 16, but we
It might be a
Yeah.
separate episode. Of,
we got some goodies coming up.
I also wonder that if he ends up having a spren, if it's the same spren that might have started binding with his dad.
Ooh.
Like, I wonder if it just transferred over to him or something like that. Or even if his dad, I mean, we don't even know if his dad had a spren, but
Boy.
he started acting weird.
I'm still,
Gavilar.
yeah, I'm still
Gavilar,
really
thank you.
interested in Gavilar because we're going to talk about Yezna, and with that, we're going to talk about, but not yet. We'll say that for episode
No,
16.
I don't want to talk about her. But remember when you said that the shadows, he sees like shadows?
Yes,
Right.
I think.
Well, the thing is also like Yasna had the thing with the shadows
The
on her
shadows.
during her
Yes.
perspective as well.
And their brother and sister.
And Yasna's spren says that he's not like his other spren. He's like a rebel, or he doesn't want to be, and he chose his name to be different from them. And he's ivory. Shadows are like dark.
Yeah.
So they
he has the
maybe
same
have
type of
similar,
spren.
not necessarily the same, but
I think
similar.
that maybe Ivory selected Yezna because of how he's a rebel of his type. What if one of his type selected her brother,
Exactly.
who's more like
Their type.
their type?
Exactly.
Something to think about. We don't know yet, but I'm going to say Brett Bet is on, and I'm going to say that Elokar has a spren that's trying its really hardest to bond with him.
Yes, I agree with Jeffrey.
Now that I know how to level the audio perfectly, Manny could yell all he wants and it will cap out perfectly.
What?
Wow,
Manny's
I
not
think.
yelling. That's him talking.
I know, like, I don't even understand
That's
why you have
normal
to bring it up.
talking
I'm going to say yes.
Ooh.
He has a spren. Oh, Manny did say yes, so maybe I should play the safe route and go no.
The thing is that you guys have a habit of persuading somebody to go the other way and then going back.
Yeah.
Manny's done it to you, and you've done it to Manny.
I'm gonna say no.
Ooh, not a team bet.
I remember last time I said that Honor Blade was gonna go to Adeline
Yes.
because I thought it made sense. But also I see a possibility of Alaka again that before he goes to his hometown.
Oh,
The
so
capital.
instead of Kaladin like taking him,
Well,
He-
Kaladin's
he'll-
gonna take him because he's gonna be
yeah.
matching the blade.
I gotcha.
But he's also has to take all those other people with him.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And that's a way for him to be on like equal footing as a king.
Yeah.
And I can see down of like, since he's trying so hard to be better than himself, to give him a key to do it. Like now he's like one of them.
Nice.
I feel like Brandon Sanderson was setting something up there, but on the opposite end, I feel that he maybe felt that it wasn't the right decision to go because it just seems like it's been such a long time. So I'm actually going to say no.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have 3 for yes, 2 for no. I'm going to join Ben and Josh
Oh,
on
3
the
and
no
3.
side, so it'll be
The
an
winning
even
side.
3 on 3.
Winning.
Have we
But
ever had one of us straight 3 and 3?
I don't think
My reasoning is this. I kind of do think that maybe he does have the start of a spren. However, I don't think it's going to matter because I'm worried that there's going to be some real drama that unfolds in Kolinar, and I don't think Elhokar is going to make it.
So,
No.
wow.
No
Good.
drama. No drama.
Actually,
That's why I'm going on the no side.
So, speaking of that, that's actually a really good point because it doesn't matter whether he's about to bound his sprint or not if he dies.
Right.
And also, I think Brett and I were just talking about this. We're like, man, shit's going a little too easy, a little too good.
Right.
Yeah. I
It's
told
like
him,
this
I'm like,
It's too much.
I don't like it, man. Shit's too
Right.
good. It's going too well. It's about to go wrong.
It's like there's no
Yeah.
conflict. They're winning.
There's
They're
still like 7 more books left in this series, and things are wrapping up really quickly.
Yeah.
There's
Well, I don't know if things are wrapping up really quickly. We still have so much we don't know
Yeah, I mean,
from the other orders.
all that could be
And
answered.
war
in a
hasn't
book.
really
Something's gonna
broken
go
out
wrong,
yet.
man.
I mean,
Something's
there's
gonna
been no
go
war yet.
wrong.
That's actually a really
Yeah.
good point. We've had some good news a lot in this
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
There was a
Yeah.
lot of good news
There's
in
a lot
this
of good
A
part.
lot of
What?
good news.
I mean, the Voidbringers have taken over the entire city.
That's true. Actually, more. They've taken cities.
More,
Yeah.
like a capital city, and then
Yeah.
they're on the way to another one.
Yeah, they're gonna go. Yeah,
So it's not all good news.
It's
And
not all good
over.
news.
It's not over by any means.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
Because
over.
they
It's not
haven't-
all good news. But I think on the micro, like the macro, yeah, there's still a lot of conflict. But on the micro, when you're looking at the relationships between these
Yeah.
people that we love, everything's going kind of good.
Think about Shallan.
Yeah,
that
she's
is not
down.
good.
Yeah,
And
She's
we're
barely
gonna
keeping it
start.
together.
Let's save Shallan for.
It's not a
next episode,
relationship
because we got
though.
a
That's like
lot
her
to talk
personal
about
state.
there.
But yeah, that's.
But we
concerning.
do have
Why you gotta
a
be so
little
negative
time
about
left. We
that?
could talk.
Not being negative.
Man, there's a lot of good stuff to talk about.
I actually thought that Elhokar's want to improve impossible spren that would become a shard blade might lead him to become more confident and maybe start to be like, hey, I'm finally the leader that I wanted to be. You need to give up your power now, Dalinar. And I wondered if there was going to be any
Ooh.
any conflict
Chance
there.
for
Yeah.
drama in the future.
I-
yeah.
There was
I
some
don't see that.
foreshadowing
I
with
don't
that. with,
necessarily see it, but I
Yesna's
kind of
track.
thought about it.
Yesna
But I-
mentioned that her cousin and her
Fighting in
uncle
between
love each
families.
other, or her brother and her uncle love each other, but that there's a lot of possible tension there.
Yeah.
There is tension, but they love each other anyway, but there's more tension that might come.
And that's sometimes the greatest threat to the whole
The throne.
is within the family, not
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing that made me start thinking about like some things that might be coming up because was it Shallan or was it Yasna? Was
Yasna.
talking about
That was
it was
Yasna.
Yasna
Yeah.
was talking about that.
Awesome story,
specifically.
by the way. He kills his entire family finally at a dinner and then chokes. and dies.
Yeah.
That's what.
Because there was no one left to give
To
him
save him.
the Heimlich maneuver.
That was 100 year or 200 years after when what the scholar wrote,
Yeah.
which she seemed to be a little.
Isn't it ironic?
Don't you?
Don't you think?
I do think.
Okay.
Are you okay then?
So we do have a Brett bet. We actually have two. We have a team bet and a Brett bet. And the Brett bet's 3-3, and the team bet was we're all drinking if I forgot it already.
Andrew?
Captain?
Yep. I've got two from last week. The first one, which we did not answer, was the result of
we're
Evie.
talking about-
We're talking about
The
today.
Save
this
those.
week.
Save those.
Oh,
We're
the
going to
one
talk
for this
about that
week.
Yeah.
next
Okay.
episode. Yes.
So the one is Helloran. It was something to do with is Helloran dead, and if so,
No, that's also from
That's
last
last
week.
That's
week.
from
No,
last
it's
Oh,
not in
okay.
the two we made.
That's
today.
right. We'll look at it when we're editing.
Yeah, we made a team bet, and now none of us can remember. what it is.
Oh yeah, the team bet.
Yeah, we said we're
it was
all-
if Esh and I is still alive, right?
Yes!
Oh, yeah.
Which we
Esh and
often
I-
just
back.
Yeah,
Esh and I comes
record
back.
keeper. So we have a team
All right.
bet. Awesome, thank you, Captain. That was perfect.
Yep, no
We're,
problem.
we are all going to drink together, or not drink at all, and just celebrate. I guess we're going to drink
Victory
both
drink,
ways.
probably.
Yeah, victory drink or
Victory drink or defeat drink.
defeat drink. And
It's a rough
the
life.
it's all about perception.
Yeah.
So so that's if we run into Eshenai again in some form, and then we're 3-3 on whether Alucard gets a spren
spren.
bonded,
Yes.
and those are our two. And then
I
last
thought it was
week,
does Elokar have a spren, but I'll stay my answer.
I think that he has a spren, but Andrew had a good point.
I'll keep
He
my answer.
clearly hasn't really bonded it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really, because otherwise he would already have some kind of powers
Radiance.
coming. Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
could be talking to it or at least be able to see it.
something like that. Yeah.
'Cause,
He'd be accidentally breathing in Stormlight
Shalan could see
pattern.
pattern before she
Her
could
first
have power.
words. Yeah.
Cool.
I thought that we had a pattern somewhere around here. I didn't even realize what was going on. I just kept hearing it.
Everyone, check your clothes. Somebody's clothes.
All right, so we have a lot to talk about, but we are at 57 minutes. So I say we should
Episode
probably
16.
cheers this. Yeah.
Sweet.
So this was episode 15, guys. I think we're gonna do an episode 16. And
I thought you were taking my cup.
cheers.
Cheers.
And thanks for joining us at Lit Literature. Sorry, I had to drink for that one more time. But before we leave, I did want to say, find us at Lit Literature 1 at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. No, wait. Yeah, YouTube.
The easiest way is just go to lyket.net.
Yeah,
Look for
Lyket.net.
literature.
Lyket.
Lyket. Lyket.net.
And good.
Thanks again for joining us for this episode of Lit Literature. If you liked us, please check out our social media at Lit Literature 1 at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't hesitate to join in on the conversation. We appreciate the conversation, the questions, book recommendations, anything of that sort. Join in right on the social media websites. And don't forget to check us out at our website, litliterature.com, and our upcoming projects, though there aren't many now besides Lit Literature, you can find at lyket.net, Lyket. We do have a Patreon account, but if you truly want to support us, please like and share. Cheers.